Hey y'all, Miss Neeler here. We are going to be doing dis, die, diff. It's on page 52 of your roots book. And we're going to start, of course, with the root. So dis, die, diff, meaning not, away, or apart. Right? Let's start at the top of the page. It was important in Roman times to start a journey or begin a new venture on a lucky day. One way to find out whether a day was favorable was to consult the stars. If the stars were not in a favorable position, the outcome of any undertaking begun on that day was certain to be a disaster. From the roots dis meaning not and aster meaning star, right? So no, they were not good stars for you. Make sense? I'm going to go ahead and put that root up here for you. But our first word is diffident. Diffident is an adjective. It has the roots diff meaning away and fid meaning trust. So away from trust, right? And it means not having faith in oneself, shy or timid. And I just love this little kid right here. Take a look. He's so cute and he's shy. So he's hiding behind the side, right? Let's take a look at our sentence. The foreign student felt diffident about her accent. She was a little nervous that people might not, understand where she was coming from. Or she was shy that she sounded different. Our next word is diffuse. It's an adjective. It comes from the roots diff meaning away and fuse meaning to pour, so to pour away. Spread out or disperse, not concentrated. So the first thing I wanted to look at, let me get out of the way, was kind of when we pour like food coloring in water, this is what happens. And if you look here, you'll see here's where it's all concentrated, right? But then up here, it's diffusing into the water. And this is the part of the water where it hasn't touched yet, okay? Or we can look at kind of the use of diffused light. So this is the same place, but it was 2 different interviews and they used 2 different lighting schemes. And it changed the way the girls looked and the background looked. It changed the colors because of the kind of light that they used. They used a spread out or dispersed light, a diffused light. Next word is disarray. It's a noun from the roots dis meaning not and arrear meaning to array. So not arrayed, not put together well, right? A state of disorder or confusion, disorderly dress. So I'm sure that none of you would ever have a room that looked like this, would you? With clothes on the floor and the picture turned sideways and all that. Of course not. But that room is in disarray. Or, every once in a while I have a bad hair day. It's really disappointing. My hair is just in disarray and refuses to do what I want it to do. Following the death of their leader, a political group fell into disarray. Interesting, right? All right, next word. Disperse. It's a verb from the roots dis meaning away and bursa meaning a purse. So giving away your purse, where your money is. It means to pay out as from a fund. So the sentence here says the president of the society dispersed the scholarship funds. So he gave that money to the scholarship candidates, right? He distributed it to different people, portions of it to different people, okay? Disconcert is a verb from the roots dis meaning not and concert to bring into agreement. So they're not going to be brought to agreement. To upset, to frustrate. The speaker was disconcerted by the noise in the balcony. Let's take a look at the pictures here. So I chose teachers because it just seemed, if you don't know the difference between there, and there at this point, then your teacher might become disconcerted when they try. They're frustrated, right? Or, I love this. This is so funny. A college student wrote this. In response to a particularly stupid question, my professor ripped off his shirt in the middle of lecture, and you can kind of see it here. The shirt says, it's in the syllabus. So, when I tell you, did you read the instructions? And you're like, no. That's what happened. The professor gave an entire class of college students a syllabus that told them everything they needed to know, and then they asked him questions from the syllabus. He got so angry, he made a t-shirt about it, and then surprised everyone by showing them in class when he got angry. Isn't that funny? Disconsolate. A verb. It means not able to be consoled or hopelessly sad. So I immediately thought of a losing team. Sorry, LSU. Or there's a really great quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson: "Don't be a cynic and a disconsolate preacher. Don't bewail and moan. Omit the negative propositions. Challenge us with incessant affirmatives. Don't waste yourself in rejection or bark against the bad, but chant the beauty of the good." Right? So he's saying, don't focus on what is sad in life, right? Discordant. From the roots dis meaning apart and cord meaning heart, right? So heart's apart. It's an adjective. It means not in accord or disagreeable to the ear. So here we have Calvin fighting with one of his friends. They're always in discord, right? But here we have someone who, oh my gosh, that sound is terrible. No, discordant sound. Like this sentence: one discordant voice can ruin a choir. One disagreeable voice. Disparity is a noun from the roots dis meaning not and par meaning equal. It means difference or unlikeness. We talk a lot in this country, a lot of our social discussions are about disparities. It could be disparities between race, or disparities between the sexes, or disparities between different groups economically, right? So here is kind of a little funny about a WNBA superstar does not get showered in money, but a rookie NBA player, even if no one knows his name, just gets lots and lots of money, right? So that's a discussion on the disparities in professional sports for men and women. And then here we have information about the U.S. income gap, right? How much men make, how much women make, how much different races make. Those are disparities. The differences are the disparities. And then here the same, right? Who has the most money, who has the least money. Our sentence: in spite of the disparity in their ages, they get along well. Next is disproportionate. It's a noun or an adjective. It can be used both ways. It means not proportionate, out of proportion in size, shape, or amount. So if we look here, I have like a dollhouse and a doll. And the doll, the bigger the doll gets, the less in proportion she is, the more disproportionate she is to the house. She won't fit in that dollhouse, right? Or we can talk about something like a Barbie doll that is disproportionate compared to a real human being, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Barbie looks nothing like a real person because she isn't actually built in a way that a real person can be built and still be healthy and living a good life. In fact, I'm pretty sure her feet won't hold her up if she were a real person. They're not big enough. Silly Barbie. All right, then we have dissect. From the roots dis meaning apart and sect meaning to cut. So literally to cut apart, especially for anatomical study. So you guys have dissected frogs, right? That's a dissection, to dissect a frog. But then you can also dissect your shoes. Don't do it without talking to your parents first, okay? You could take them apart and look at how they're made and what makes them up. Our class dissected frogs yesterday. Disseminate is a verb from the roots dis meaning apart and semen meaning seed, right? It's to spread abroad as if sowing seed. So if you look here, I have a dandelion, and the dandelion disseminated its seeds all over when the wind blew. Dissent. From the roots dis meaning apart and sent meaning to feel. So it's a verb, to differ in opinion or feeling, to withhold approval. And Thomas Jefferson once said that dissent is the highest form of patriotism. So by saying what we think, by saying, well, I don't agree with that, right, we're being good patriots here in the United States. Dissident is a noun. It comes from the roots dis meaning apart and sid meaning to sit, so to sit apart. One who disagrees, a dissenter. So if you dissent, you are a dissident. The dissidents made trouble for the ruling party. Dissuade is a verb from the roots dis meaning away and swad meaning to persuade. To turn a person away from course by persuasion. So if you look here, I have a sign for a parking space that's reserved for someone who's handicapped, right? This sign down here underneath, oh, there we go, this one, says penalty, $100 first offense, subsequent offenses, it goes up, right? So they're trying to dissuade me from parking there by telling me if you do, you'll get a fine. And last, diverse. It's an adjective from the roots die meaning away and verse meaning to turn, unlike as diverse opinions. And here we have unlike skin color, so diverse shades. Best of luck on your quiz. Study hard. Make sure you do your exercises in your Kia. Thanks, guys.